Next up at the summit is my good friend Amir Hameed. He is the VP Worldwide Solution Sales and Engineering at our good friend client RingCentral. Amir, great to have you at today's summit. And wow, what an unbelievable, unprecedented time. Global economic crisis, global health pandemic, global supply chain crisis. RingCentral does so many things perfectly right, keeping people connected, building communication channels, innovation channels, collaboration channels, the whole idea of building trust in an organization through the right communication platforms and mediums. What has changed dramatically for you at RingCentral in the past 19 months?
Well, what can I tell you, Hunter? A pleasure to be here with you as always. I mean, look, we are still evolving out of this pandemic. We really don't know what to expect, right? So in the beginning, of course, it was everybody work from home, so we enabled that. We had message, video, phone on your desktop, on your mobile device, in the cloud. We had that all settled, right? Now we're starting to see some inklings of the norm, right? I got excited. 2 weeks ago, I got to go to London. Okay, I was speaking at the Digital Transform and UC Expo, did a couple of presentations there. This is great, seeing people live, no masks. I was very excited. I come back to Canada and I'm supposed to be in the US the following Tuesday, because Monday was Canadian Thanksgiving. And what happens? I'm sorry, sir, because you've been in the UK, you are not allowed in the US for 14 days. I'm like, you're kidding me. I've got important meetings that I need to be at. I've got presentations to deliver. Sorry, sir, presidential proclamation. So what happens, right? First time ever, I'm escorted out of the airport, which is very different experience from coming in and going through customs. So I'm escorted out of the airport. I'm back at my home office, but you know what? I didn't miss a beat. Message, video, phone, all of these capabilities delivered by RingCentral. And though I couldn't be there in person, I was there in heart. I was able to still meet all of my commitments, all of my deliverables remotely. And that's what the pandemic's been about, right? It's really been about how can you adjust and how do you have the tools available to empower you to do what you need to do, irrespective of where you might be.
Great stuff. Amir, it's this whole notion of working and thinking globally, working and thinking differently, working and using the tools and the collaboration platforms and mediums that you all have at RingCentral to stay connected 24/7 on a global level.
Absolutely, right? So backed by SLA, so 5 nines. This is something, mission critical communications. It's something that is absolutely foundational for us. Secure communications, end-to-end encryption on video, all of that are things that one would expect that RingCentral continues to deliver, so that again, it's enterprise grade communications and human connections that we're facilitating.
I found most interesting, right? When the crisis hit 19 months ago, I knew this was going to be an epic moment for the tech leader, an incredible opportunity for the tech leader to lead courageously, passionately into the C-suite, into the line of business, into the boardroom with a safe and secure enterprise. And companies like RingCentral, you guys really nailed it. And your company grew fast because the demand was so intense.
That's a great point. Like, let's face it, companies were transforming, moving to the cloud even before. Business was good, to be honest. But the reality was, outside of the headquarters or some main offices, when they talked about taking their collaboration, communications, contact centers into the cloud, that might have been priority 4 or 5 or down the list. It was on the list, but it was a little bit lower down the list. Enter COVID-19 and all of a sudden it's like it has to be now. So we were as busy as possible, but we were ready because that's what we do. So we were very fortunate and I feel privileged to have had the opportunity to help so many customers around the world truly keep the lights on and continue to delight their customers despite what was going on around the world with this pandemic.
Amir, we know culture matters, and I think video is so much more valuable than just simply the old telephone. I mean, we're not going to see that anymore, are we?
Well, That's a great question. People ask, is video going to just take over? Are we going to? And I don't know that that's 100% true. I think video's great because what it's allowed me to do, coming back to culture, is to connect with my teams globally, right? Sure, I would meet them live in a meeting, have dinner with them and then go back. But because of the pandemic, I'm beamed into their homes now. I know their dog. I know their children. There's so much more intimacy that video has brought forward. But at the same time, there's a lot of burnout, right? And so there are times when, and perhaps you and I don't have bad hair days, but many people do. And perhaps they can be just as effective without being on video. So I believe voice will always be there, but video similarly is there for the right time, for the right place, ensuring people are, connected and not feeling disjointed, right? So I may not be there in person for a few meetings, but because of video, just as we are right now, I'm in Toronto, this great Silicon Valley event that you guys have working, and here we are, right?
Amir, you folks work cross-industry, global company. What are some lessons learned or best practices in keeping the culture resilient, keeping people strong and healthy so they don't burn out?
Yeah, that's a great point. So we try and connect with our employee. At RingCentral, we have these the Ring Caring Days. So once a quarter, we have these days where it's just a mental health break. Be there with your families, with your friends, with your loved ones. There's no working. So that's something that was really important to us. But at the same time, we had other virtual events that we took because we take stock. Now, for someone like myself, I'm traveling all the time. It was kind of nice to be home, to be honest. Get to see the kids and my wife. I don't know how they felt about it 18 months on. They're probably ready to kick me out. But I've got other employees on my team who are single. And I got to tell you, it was very, very difficult on them not to have that water cooler talk, not to come into the office and not have that human interaction. So we have to empathize with people like that. And we did so many virtual events where it's not about work. It's just, let's have fun. Let's dress up day. Let's say, whether it's a Halloween event or any other event where we could get together and socialize and bond without necessarily just doing work. And again, leveraging the message, video, phone capabilities at RingCentral to facilitate that as well.
Amir, I don't know if you can talk about it, but I bet you have thousands of stories of successes with clients cross industry with some amazing logos that are testimonials or white papers on your site. How can people learn more about RingCentral and the way you keep the world running through innovation and collaboration on a global level?
That's a great point, Hunter. I welcome everybody to come to our website, ringcentral.com. You will literally see, many hundreds and hundreds of case studies, examples, real life examples of how we delivered on ROI. We accelerated digital transformation from customers from all verticals, from all geographies globally. So absolutely, or feel free to reach out to me and I would be more than happy to help share what we've done with a customer very similar to likely your own and some of the benefits that we were able to derive.
Amir, how can people reach out to you and get connected?
Well, amir.hameed@ringcentral.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy and hopefully, fingers crossed, they let me back into the US. I love to attend these events live and look forward to that opportunity to be with you all as soon as we possibly can.
Amir, you're one of our top presenters of all time, top 10, as I mentioned earlier, presenters and communicators. Thank you for so much sharing so much clarity and vision with exceptional communication skills. Because storytelling, last point, storytelling matters. Tell us why it matters.
Well, I think that's the authenticity, right? When you're telling a story, you're not talking, you're not putting up a vision. You're talking about something from the heart, something you've lived through. In the case of a business context, it's a customer that you've helped along their journey. And for me and at RingCentral, that's what we're passionate about, right? It's not a matter about solutioning. It's about truly understanding where a business is today, understanding their challenges, helping them uncover some of the issues that they've got, and then at the end, painting a picture of the future in the cloud, mobile first, secure, reliable 5 nines, and then of course taking the steps to get them there as a trusted advisor and partner. I think that's what really sets it apart. And when you're doing that day in, day out, of course, there's numerous stories that just flow, because that's what we live and breathe every day.
Great stuff, Amir. Thank you once again, folks. When RingCentral reaches out to you, please take a call, set up a call, a RingCentral video call, and basically check out what's unique about RingCentral. Again, thanks for your partnership and thanks for supporting today's summit.
Thank you. Pleasure as always.